Shooting is a sport, and like any sport, it is important that you practice. Let's check out the top practice drills for the home defense shotgun. Importance of proper gun training. If you don't handle a gun properly, it can be more dangerous than useful for you and the people around you. Whether you own a gun for self-defense, home defense, or for the sport of it, you always want to be constantly practicing to improve your skills and become a better shot. Your ability to hit your target may just save your life. If you find yourself defending your life with a gun, aiming should be a higher priority than shooting, and practice is the key. When and if that moment comes that you need to use your gun to protect yourself, you will be relying on your instincts, be forced to make decisions under extreme stress, and you will not have the time to get acquainted with your gun. This is why practicing with your gun on an ongoing basis is critical. You do not want to be fumbling with it and trying to remember how to use it when your life is at stake. Your expertise with your gun is critical to your ability to protect yourself and/or others. It is natural, if this is your first gun, to feel awkward, but with practice, this feeling will pass. If you are new to shooting, it is important to learn to handle and shoot a gun correctly. The better you are, the more confident you will be, and the more fun the sport of shooting will be. Finding and attending a good basic shooting class is highly encouraged. It is important to learn more than just how to shoot. If you are a more experienced shooter, learning more advanced skills and fine-tuning those you already have is recommended. Dry fire is the term for practicing with an unloaded firearm. It does not necessarily mean only pulling the trigger. It can refer to practicing reloads, drawing, or almost any other skill you need to master with your gun. Not only that, but it takes some effort to learn how to manipulate a shotgun smoothly and confidently, especially if it's a pump action. Just like any self-defense tool, the ideal goal is to be able to run the shotgun well without having to put any conscious thought into it. Dry fire is an essential component of learning to shoot well because repetition develops proficiency. Make sure you know the laws, how to assess a situation, what will happen if you do shoot to protect yourself, how to draw from a holster safely, etc. Practicing with your gun at the range will build skill and confidence. Practice shooting live rounds at the range at least once a month with your defensive handgun for a minimum of 50 rounds each time, if you are looking to make your time at the range meaningful. Home defense shotgun drills. If you plan to depend on a shotgun as a home defense tool, you need to practice with it. That should probably go without saying, but the myth is still alive and well that the shotgun is some kind of magic wand that sprays death whenever you point it in the general direction of a bad guy. But as anyone who has trained at all with a defensive shotgun knows, you can miss, even at close range. Not only that, but it takes some effort to learn how to manipulate a shotgun smoothly and confidently, especially if it's a pump action. Just like any self-defense tool, the ideal goal is to be able to run the shotgun well without having to put any conscious thought into it. And to get to that point, we have to practice. But here's where you might run into a challenge, compared to training with a handgun or a carbine. There just aren't as many resources available for working with the shotgun in a home defense context. It's harder to find training classes, drills, and books, so even if you want to put in the work to improve your shotgun skills, figuring out where to start is not always straightforward. If you start digging around for information using the shotgun for self-defense, you'll likely see the influence of training centered around law enforcement needs and three-gun competition. There is plenty to learn from both of those contexts, but there is also a lot of information that's not really relevant for the average person for home defense. But here are some of the things any shotgun owner should know in terms of home defense. The basic practice drill. Once you have chosen the shotgun, single shot, double barrel, pump action, or self-loading shotgun, and you are familiar with the operation, you are ready for range work. The initial practice may be undertaken with light loads such as number 7.5 birdshot. Keep in mind that heavier loads may be needed for practice with self-loading shotguns. Practice operating the pump action properly. If you do not properly and positively work the action, there's a good chance you will experience a short cycle with a shell trapped in the shell holder. This is bad news if you are in a gunfight and sometimes difficult to clear. The shotgun fires and you snap the operating rods to the rear by moving the forend quickly and with positive action. As the spent shell is ejected and the new shell is moved to the shell carrier, forcefully move the forend forward to load and lock the shotgun. You may use recoil to help operate the pump action. As you practice firing slowly, at first, also practice loading the shotgun. With the shotgun in the normal firing position, the support hand goes to the belt or shotgun-mounted shell carrier, retrieves a shell, and quickly inserts the shell into the magazine topping off the magazine. Self-loading shotguns lock open on the last shot. A shell may be taken off of the belt and quickly dropped into the chamber by the support hand. This is faster to get the shotgun back into action than loading the magazine and racking the bolt. You then have a shell in the chamber and you are back in action. You may use recoil to help operate the pump action. As you practice firing slowly, at first, also practice loading the shotgun. Stance and aim. A shotgunner has more recoil to contend with than the rifle shooter, and as a rule, the feet are spaced further apart in a wider stance. The head is held erect, the strong sidearm perpendicular to the ground, the weak arm parallel to the ground, and the weak side foot forward and holding the greatest portion of the body's weight. The knee should be bent, but slightly. The grip on the forend and pistol grip is vital. The grip must be firm as forends can actually leap out of the shooter's hands when firing 12-gauge buckshot. The best way to gauge the firing grip is to grasp the shotgun until the hands tremble, then back off a little and you have your firing grip. The stock should be pressed into the shoulder firmly. As you lean slightly into the shotgun, you will control recoil more efficiently. If there is a slight offset of the stock from the shoulder, recoil will hammer your shoulder. When quickly shouldering the shotgun, the strong side hand grasps the pistol grip and the support hand then moves into position to the forend. Be certain the support hand grasps the forend properly in the middle of the forend to operate the pump-action shotgun. During this movement, the shotgun is brought up and to the head and the cheek. Do not lower the head and meet the shotgun. At close range, aiming is just as important as with a rifle. The pattern hasn't spread yet, and the payload must be centered for immediate effect. When hunting a bird or small game animal, only a few pellets need to hit the animal. In personal defense, the pattern must be centered on the target. While the shotgun is often handled quickly due to an efficient natural point of aim, the sights should be used as soon as the target is centered on the front sight. Trigger control is always important. When you are swinging and firing, jerking the trigger will result in a wide miss. Shotgun triggers are often heavier than rifle triggers. The shotgun trigger cannot be particularly light, or recoil would jar it off the sear during recoil. Practice smoothly pressing the trigger straight to the rear. The trigger must be controlled consistently. Range and grip. The shotgun is intended for engagements of short duration at close range. While the range of the shotgun may be stretched using slugs, the best range for shotgun use is 7 to 30 yards. The quality of the shotgun sights will mean a great deal past conversational range, and the skill of the user is most important. Trainers refer to the three ranges of the shotgun as A, B, and C range. A range refers to the pattern being tight and cohesive. The gun must be aimed carefully. The B range is the range at which the pattern has spread to be most effective, usually about 15 to 20 yards. C range is slug range, which is usually regarded as past 25 yards, although slugs may be used at a closer range if needed. When practicing with the shotgun, you need to measure the pattern on the target and note how the pattern becomes larger with distance. The pattern gives up at a certain range and is no longer dense enough to produce a telling wound. Buckshot performs differently in individual shotguns, and each shotgun is a story unto itself. With the reduced recoil 12-gauge buckshot load, the pattern is good to outstanding compared to full-power buckshot when used in personal defense shotguns. Penetration and energy are not a problem at the typical shotgun range. When firing the shotgun quickly, shotguns with a traditional stock work best for me. When altering the handling qualities of a shotgun, understand the consequences. A pistol grip and AR-type stock provide a commonality of fit with the AR-15 rifle, but also affects the ability to swing quickly and make smooth hits on running targets. If you have a need to accurately launch flashbangs or slugs, and that is more important than fluid combat use, then consider modifying the shotgun. Otherwise, leave it alone. A great deal of practice must go into mastering the modified shotgun with an AR-15 style stock. When using the pump-action shotgun, it is important to always use a positive operation when cycling the pump action. Run the operating rods to the rear with the forend and then run the forend back to a full forward lock. Do not allow the shotgun to short cycle, as short cycles are the most common malfunction of the shotgun and they are shooter errors. Trigger control. Pressing the finger into the register with the trigger begins before the shot is taken and continues after the shot is taken. The trigger is pressed straight to the rear. There is no jerking or milking the trigger to one side or the other. Press straight to the rear. When you have only pressed the finger into contact with the trigger at the last possible moment, There is a rush to break the shot and the inevitable miss. Do not rush, press the trigger smoothly, and control the trigger. The finger is in contact with the trigger. The trigger is pressed and then the trigger breaks. The finger should be along the side of the receiver or crooked just outside the trigger guard when not actually staging the trigger. When you are firing, there are definite stages no matter how quickly you fire. The first is touching the trigger. The second is taking up the motion or slack in the trigger. You can go back from the first two stages, but not the third. The third stage is firing. Touch, stage, break. Having the shotgun go off after your fire is unnerving and not something in the human experience that doesn't provoke a natural reaction, so it is important to concentrate on the sights. Hitting moving targets. When firing, concentrate on the swing and lead the target by the leading edge of the target, never stopping the swing as the shotgun is fired, and you will get a hit. Retain a hard visual focus. There are reflex shooting skills that complement the shotgun. You will shoot where you look. You pick the point, you will insert the muzzle on the target, swing through from behind and maintaining the lead. Swing on the target's leading edge. Be certain you master what is called pull away and maintain a full firing grip at all times. This is called follow through. Do not relax the grip after firing, but maintain your hold. Practice recovery from recoil and firing again with good accuracy. It is an excellent idea to take cover and fire from a protected position whenever possible. This adds to your safety, gives you protection from gunfire, and helps to stabilize the shot. When firing, be aware of the twists of buckshot. The shot doesn't travel with equilateral radial dispersion as some think. The shot travels in strings. In other words, if you are firing at a running target, the first buckshot may miss, and the string behind the running target catches the target. That is part of the awesome effectiveness of buckshot. The shotgun is our most effective personal defense weapon. That's all for today's video. See you next time.